Are you gonna get me chocolate?
Chocolate?
For Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get me those little chocolate buttholes?
Oh my god, why didn't I think of that in time?
I wonder if those are even still around. I
think they are.
Really?
I think they're mass produced and they probably have a butthole mold. Like, I mean, who made that? Who's like, okay, yeah, we're commissioning you to make a candy mold. What's it supposed to look? A butthole.
Yeah, it's just a butthole. I think they make like nipples and stuff too. But yeah, I first saw it like, oh gosh, it had to have been like 15 years ago or some shit. And I thought it was just some internet meme when I first saw it.
Oh, the
way
chocolate
back
buttholes?
when. Yeah, the chocolate buttholes.
No, someone actually really went and made chocolate buttholes, and now it's just such a high in-demand fucking confectionery that I'm sure butthole machines exist somewhere.
This is tangentially related, but did I ever tell you about one of my friends who had an ass-eating mishap?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Let's call him Pierre.
Pierre.
Yes, so my friend Pierre, he was a gay man.
Yeah.
And he met this guy, and they decided to go back to that guy's place and get down to some hanky-panky. And, of course, you know, they had been drinking and quite inebriated. Long story short, he was sitting on this dude's face as the gentleman was feasting upon his derriere. When all of a sudden, I don't know if he had to fart or what.
No.
But also, like, why would you fart while someone's eating your ass?
Sometimes it sneaks up on you. It's just there. It's like, oh.
Well, it wasn't a fart.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he shat in this guy's mouth.
Oh my god.
And he says that when it happened, he literally screamed, got up, grabbed all of his clothes, and ran out of the dude's apartment and never talked to him again.
Oh, Jesus. I would be fucking mortified.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I would move to another town. I would start telling people to call me Billy. Oh, that's not Matt Jim. Who's Matt Jim? That's Billy.
Nobody's ever eaten Billy's ass.
Billy don't play that shit.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that was... I miss Pierre sometimes, but that was one of the better stories that he told me. He was always up to some wild shit, sometimes literally. Like the time we went to the bar and his ex-boyfriend showed up. And he kept threatening to, like, break a beer bottle and shank him with it. And so we got kicked out of the bar. And on the way out, we passed his ex-boyfriend's car.
Oh, no.
And Pierre had to pee.
Oh, no.
So he whips his dick out and he pisses all over the driver's side door. Like, sticks it up under the handle. And it was cold out, too. It was, like, freezing.
God.
So there were probably, after we left...
Pissicles?
Little pissicles hanging from the door handle.
Holy shit, that's hilarious.
Rest in peace, Pierre.
Oh.
We miss you.
SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX. SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX. SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX. SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX, SUMO PUNX.
Hello, my name is Sabrina, and I'm just a love machine.
And my name is Matt, and I'm the what you call Dr. Feel Good.
And this
is SUMO PUNX.
Dr. Feel Good. Welcome to episode 3, which is actually technically episode 4. But who the hell is counting? Since this episode's going to be coming out on or around Valentine's Day, we decided that we wanted to focus on the relationship that Sumo has with relationships.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about all that gushy stuff on this episode.
Gushy. But yeah, we're about to get real squishy up in here. This is the squishy episode.
Yes, this is a squishy episode. We're going to talk about love and dating and marriage and fucking.
That hot genital on genital action.
But that's later.
Yeah, much later.
So like I said, it is Valentine's Day. We know how Valentine's Day typically goes here in the US. You have the chocolate and the flowers and the cheap little tiny plastic roses that come in glass tubes from the gas station. And the greasy, be-pimpled teenage boys that show up on your front porch after trying to avoid them for the last 2 weeks, who bought tickets for you to go to a concert with them that you clearly didn't want to go to, so now you have to stand in your doorway pretending to be sick so they think you can't go. You know, Valentine's Day.
God.
What?
No, who were you going to go see?
Do I have to say it out loud?
You have to say it out loud.
Blink 182. I was not the one who was into them. It was him. It was his idea.
Hey, we're grown now. People can like what they like without having to have me judge them for it.
Yeah, why you gotta be so judgy?
That's just how
Why you gotta be so judgy of this boy that I stood up? Anywho, Valentine's Day in Japan is a little bit different.
Yeah. So Valentine's Day in Japan is not the most romantic of holidays. I mean, it's romance involved, but December the 24th is their major romantic holiday.
Yes, yes. The birth of baby Jesus always really just brings
So
up romantic feelings in my heart. Really gets me going. For sure.
Well, this is kind of like Sadie Hawkins' dance. It's whenever the young women are able to profess their love or make their confessions, to their classmates and give them gifts of chocolate. And in Japan, it's a little, I wouldn't say frowned upon or looked down on or anything like that. It's just not usual for young women to make these outward displays of confession and affection. So February 14th is their day to do that. But I have heard some people say that, oh man, it's just the chocolate companies just trying to stay relevant and push chocolate on everybody. It's not just chocolate that you would buy your sweetheart. There's also obligation chocolate that you have to buy like your office mate. So some people are like, man, fuck Valentine's Day.
I mean, chocolate is chocolate. I'll take any chocolate any day. But there's also sort of a second Valentine's Day, a month after February 14th, on March 14th, which is White Day. That's when the boys reciprocate and give gifts of chocolate or what have you to the girls.
Yeah. Payback. But that's one of the things that I've read. One of the complaints is that it's just obligation that breeds obligation. And
yeah, there are some people in Japan who think that it should pretty much be done away with.
yeah. But chocolate.
But chocolate! You know what they should do? They should just put a big pile of chocolate in the middle of Tokyo and just let everybody come up and take whatever chocolate they want.
Just dive in the chocolate pile.
And then nobody will feel obligated.
True.
Maybe pile it up in the Kokuki-kan. That'd be fun. But what I'm really here for is to learn what it's like to love in the world of sumo.
Ooh.
Tell us about it.
Well, lower level wrestlers probably don't have enough time to do a whole lot of dating since they're scrubbing toilets and being attendants to the more senior wrestlers, cooking chanko.
Oh, and just training nonstop, for sure.
Hanging up those nasty rank mawashis full of ball sweat outside to air out. Once they reach Sekitori level, that's going to be Juryo and Makuuchi division. They get a salary, they get more privileges, they have the blessing to go out and to date and to get married and to do that sort of thing. Pretty much they really can't pursue those kinds of relationships without permission from the oyakata, from the stable master.
Yeah, and they used to be a lot more strict about that too, up until the early 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was an expectation that high-ranking rikishi, especially if they wanted to buy kabu and own a stable and to move on, they would have to have an arranged marriage. At least that was expected of them.
Or it would have to be approved
Yes.
anyway.
But the strict traditions surrounding courtship or dating or whatever, those were shaken up a bit in 1970 when Taka no Hana eloped with the wife of his older brother, Waka no Hana.
Ooh,
Oh. So whenever they eloped, Waka no Hana and her already had a son together. So Taka no Hana adopted his nephew as his own child. And this child grew up to become the second Waka no Hana in the 1990s. And his own biological son grew up to be the next Taka no Hana. So these two half-brothers in the 1990s both became Yokozuna and created the foundation of what people are calling the millennial sumo boom. So the Wakataka Kyodai of the 1990s essentially dated whoever the fuck they wanted.
Oh,
and
yeah.
brazen, open about it.
All kinds of celebrities and idols and stuff.
So they dragged the sumo world kicking and screaming toward a more relaxed attitude towards dating. I mean, these guys were, with actresses and TV personalities and
singers and stuff.
Yeah.
Your typical celebrities, basically. Which, I mean, sumo wrestlers at that time really started to become celebrities in their own right as well. So it just kind of made sense.
I mean, they've always been revered, but this is kind of where they go from kind of more of a cultural reverence into actual running from the paparazzi real-life celebrities.
Yeah, and that's something that's kind of carried on to today as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier, a lot of rishi have celebrities and idols and stuff in their social media friends list.
Oh, yeah. They have
definitely walk in those circles.
So sumo wrestlers have always had an elevated and revered status in Japanese culture. But during I would say maybe the 50s, 60s, 70s, like during this time, there was TV. That's whenever sumo wrestlers started becoming like a media sensation. And I would definitely say by the 70s, that's whenever the whole kind of paparazzi level media frenzy kind of was starting to follow sumo wrestlers around.
Right, exactly. And there's actually groupies for sumo wrestlers, specifically female groupies. They call them sujo.
Sujo.
And there are even whole idol groups who are big fans of sumo wrestlers. Like we were talking about earlier, AKB 84.
No, 48.
No, 48. That's what it is. AKB 48. My bad. I'm sure they're listening and they're very mad about that. They're actually a pretty interesting idol group. They have their own theater in Tokyo where they perform every day, apparently.
So
I don't know if they still do. That's what I read.
So like what Celine Dion does in Vegas?
They're like the Branson, Missouri of Japanese idol groups, maybe. But they actually send free tickets to the rishi on a regular basis because they are such huge fans of sumo that they want these sumo wrestlers to come and be fans of theirs.
So it's not uncommon to see Rikishi running around with all kinds of celebrities. In fact, the Japanese tabloids love following on Rikishi and seeing exactly which celebrities they're hanging out with. Mm-hmm. Going to bars, doing karaoke.
Mm-hmm. The rikishi in Japan have become sort of sex symbols in their own right as well.
Yeah, they're kind of seen as being extremely masculine, brusque, manly men, but are culturally refined, gentle giants.
Yeah, they're definitely that symbol of Japanese masculinity.
Yeah, and I really like that particular celebration of toughness is with the types of bodies that sumo wrestlers have, that is considered to be a strong body.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be like the 0% body fat, seeing all the veins popping out, that's what a manly man is.
Yeah,
no, you can have this more soft, and some people might even say more feminine type bodies in some cases, but that are also these
strong avatars of the gods.
Exactly.
Not everyone's gonna look like Ishizaki.
Well, I mean, there are some sumo wrestlers right now who are seen as sex symbols, Inho.
Yeah, Inho.
Everybody thinks Inho is smoking.
Oh, and even Endo.
Oh, Endo.
I think it's that tongue thing that
they
he
made
does.
that whole butt pillow out of him.
Exactly. Endo butt pillow.
Endo butt pillow. Look it up.
And Matake Yumi, I remember on Twitter, it was like 2018, there was like this little photo shoot of him and his wife trading mawashi with the cherry blossoms, and I think Ozuna Arashi was there, and there was like a huge Twitter storm of all of these, oh my God, he's just so cute.
Yeah, Takayumi blew up Twitter.
Yeah. And recently, well, I think he had been married for about a year, but just recently announced that he had been married for about a year.
And that's pretty common as well with the pro sumo wrestlers. They'll get married or they'll start relationships.
On
and
the
then,
down low.
Yeah, they don't really talk about it until it is already a very well-established thing.
And then, we were talking about how you have these younger groupies, but that there are still, middle-aged and older women.
There's still the old ladies who are all about some sumo
Yeah, they
wrestlers.
love Myogiru and they love Meisei. I don't know what it is about Meisei, but old ladies love Meisei.
He just kind of seems like a mama's boy. Most of the time, though, their partners and their spouses, they want to stay out of the limelight. They want to lead a more private life, but it's not always like that.
Yeah, Takayasu is actually married to an Enka singer named Konomimori, so they are pretty much like a high culture, high profile power couple.
And that's kind of like Japanese folk singing.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very traditional couple.
Very.
The, traditional sumo wrestler husband and then the Japanese folk singer wife.
Dressed so very elegantly in their kimonos and yukata.
Aww. I can see the cherry blossoms flowing in the wind, thinking about them. Just standing there staring lovingly into each other's eyes.
Oh, that's just too cute. See, I told you it was going to be squishy.
Yeah, it's a little squishy.
So after we had spent all of this time gushing about and speculating and, prying into the dating lives of these pro Rikishi, we're going to take it to the people. We're going to check and see what it's like for just regular folks to date amateur Rikishi and, just kind of see what the actions were like.
Yeah, we actually asked some amateur sumo wrestlers what some of their experiences are, and here's what they had to say.
So this is what we asked. The questions that we had posed was along the lines of, what kind of reaction do you typically get when you tell a potential partner that you're a sumo wrestler, or what does your current partner think of you being a sumo wrestler?
One guy we asked said that as soon as he got word from his coach that the sumo club was going to become a reality, he went up to his wife, kissed her on the cheek, and kind of nonchalantly mentioned he was going to help start a sumo club.
Good morning, here's your coffee. Yeah, I'm going to start this sumo club with my friend and we're going to just bruise the shit out of each other a couple times a week, but good morning.
He says he used to do pro wrestling, which would often result in injuries, which he says she would often be rather worried about and was quite relieved when he quit.
You're jumping down off of a turnbuckle and, drop kicking fools and, throwing people, over the top ropes and shit. I mean, yeah,
that can be kind of dangerous.
It's three-dimensional. That and, in sumo, you just kind of move along the XY axis, but, pro wrestling is...
Yeah, get some math up into this shit. But anyway, he wanted to emphasize that she has really been ridiculously supportive of this sumo adventure he's been on. He says she knows he really needed it for his mental health and even didn't blink an eye when he wanted to spend hundreds of dollars on a mawashi. Or another mawashi. I wonder how many mawashis he's getting.
They're not cheap, but I mean they are pretty addictive.
They're sturdy.
Yeah, I like it.
They'll last you a while.
We're kind of running into a bit of a pattern here, so it kind of gives a peek into the demographic of people that have been practicing sumo. Another, grown person that is married, and his spouse is 100% supportive and even wants to start doing sumo herself. Mm-hmm. But he does say that, she was a tiny bit hesitant at first, and again, mostly worried about injuries. But he said that kind of thing comes with any sport that you try.
Yeah, I don't think there's a sport on the planet that you can do where you won't get injured.
I mean, people get injured playing golf.
Yeah! People get injured just driving down the street next to a golf course.
People get injured power walking.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen you injure yourself just regular walking.
I know, right? Stupid fucking cracks in the sidewalks. Damn it.
Stupid fucking feet. This next one says that he was actually the one who was hesitant to start doing sumo at first, but his partner, as he put it, kicked him in the ass and told him that he'd regret it if he didn't at least try it. He says she doesn't really worry about injuries, and when they tell people that he does sumo, they mostly get intrigued reactions from people.
That's kind of my experience as well. Just people are like, oh, sumo? Really? But then they kind of look at me, they're like, oh, that makes sense. And lastly, we did get someone that had a bit of a adverse reaction. So one guy we asked said that his girlfriend is actually against him doing sumo. He says she wasn't really sure about it at first, but then took her to check out a practice, and now it sounds like she's completely against it. She dislikes sumo, and especially dislikes that he devotes his time off to training instead of other things.
I'm really curious what else she thinks he should be doing.
And like others, she is also afraid of him getting injured. However, he says that he can tell that she loves him, and even though she hates sumo, she at least doesn't try to stop him from practicing sumo. Outside of their relationship, he says when he tells other people that he does sumo, he gets goofy reactions and disbelief that someone with his kind of build would be doing real sumo wrestling. He's a bit of a slender guy, but in the time that I've gotten to know this dude, he has packed on his muscles are toned now. He's got like some ripples and shit in his back. He works his ass off to get as built and as fucking strong as he is. And that motherfucker is getting stronger like every time I practice with him.
That's awesome. That's really cool that he's still so dedicated to it.
Fuck yeah.
Even getting pushback from someone that he's close to, it can be real tough when someone that you're really connected with has such an adverse reaction to something that you're passionate about. But you can tell it's a healthy relationship when they don't try to interfere or get in the way with you pursuing that passion.
And it just goes to show, the fighting spirit that this kid has. It's really fucking admirable.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we've talked a lot about dating in the world of sumo, but what about sex in the world of sumo?
Punching. I mean, like other human beings, sumo wrestlers, they get down into some hunching and punching.
Yeah. That stuff. So we went on the internet to do some research about sumo and sex.
Yeah.
And we found some shit.
Oh shit, did we ever. It's called Rikishi Zukan, the sumo of lovemaking. Ozumo Shunga, quaint, erotic hand scroll.
Yes, it's an antique silk scroll from around the late 1800s, was it?
Like 1890 something.
Yeah, they list this thing for over $1,700 on abebooks.com, I think it was.
Abe or Abe, maybe Abe Books, something like that.
Some shit like that. I don't know. Google it.
And you won't be disappointed.
Oh, no. There is at least one image out there. You can look that up for yourself, but I'll go ahead and give you a description. In fact, the exact description that was put on the listing that we found. It says, a uniquely Japanese sport of sumo lovemaking. A most charming rakuga, or caricature hand-painted sumo scroll. A humorous work, it depicts 3 people. The sumo wrestler against a stout and strong woman, and the umpire in most scenes. It begins with an introduction of the 3 sumo wrestlers and the 3 women opponents. All are nude and prepared to battle in the Sumo Love War.
Sumo Love War.
The next few shows the beginning match with each participant prepared to fight.
In quotes.
Yeah, for some reason the word fight is in quotes. The man reaches for the woman's vagina while she tries for his penis. He inserts his hand into her vagina while she grabs his erect shaft. They embrace while she wraps her leg around his back. The umpire watches with a large erection. The couple roll and tumble while making love. Then the man puts his head into her vulva. While the umpire is thrown away. A truly delightful frolic. Surely done by an artist with a keen sense of humor.
Definitely. Oh, but this thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's great. It's just, I think it's just hand-drawn smut from a different time.
It pretty much is. Yeah, it pretty much is. I'm intrigued by the words that they decided to put in quotes.
A fight.
And the image that I found of this thing online, it's just the 3 sumo wrestlers on the right-hand side, and then the 3 ladies on the left-hand side, and then the GAUZE standing there in the middle, holding a goombay with no pants.
No pants.
No pants.
At full attention.
Just hanging dog.
But, this is art from another time.
Yeah, it's
different
an antique.
Time yeah.
I'm going to message the seller, and I'm going to see if they'll take $1,200 for it.
Nice.
I want this thing. Oh, but that's not all we found. So if you yourself are not currently dating a sumo wrestler and you would like to know what that experience is like, I have some good news for you.
Ooh.
There is actually a Japanese dating simulator game where you date sumo wrestlers.
Ooh.
It's called Ikemen Senshuraku. The title roughly translates to dandy finale for some reason.
So we or if any of us that are familiar with sumo would know that, the Senshuraku is the last day of the basho, the 15th day, the finale.
Right, and the term ikemen can refer to a fashionable yet intelligent man that can be quite feminine, but not always necessarily gay.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure why they decided to name a sumo dating sim.
After these slender, dandy men.
Yeah, well, the characters in the game are very slender. They are high school sumo wrestlers, so they haven't really sculpted those godly sumo bodies yet. But you play as their manager. You are a teenage girl, and you're the manager of the high school sumo club. And your job is to try to manage their daily affairs while not falling in love with any of them. Except that is exactly the point of the game, because it is a dating sim.
Wah, wah.
The actual sumo wrestlers themselves in this game are very unique. They are definitely very unique. I guess because they don't really wear a lot more than just a mawashi, they had to try to differentiate them somehow.
And they're all wearing lots of accessories on their mawashis.
Oh, yes. So we have Glasses-kun.
Ooh.
His mawashi is plain gray, except that he has a bunch of pairs of eyeglasses hanging off
just
of
glasses
it.
everywhere.
Just so many glasses.
He's wearing a pair of glasses. He's holding some glasses in his hand, and then there's 5 pairs of glasses clipped to his mawashi.
Yeah, and
For science!
As we all know, the international symbol of nerdery is a pair of glasses. So obviously, this guy is a humorless nerd who really only cares about science. The translation didn't really give me a lot more to work with other than that for him.
Well.
But after Glasses-kun, we have Weird Tassels-kun.
But I thought he looks like if Wonder Woman had a lampshade with tassels.
And then that lampshade were turned into a mawashi.
Yeah.
So according to Google Translate, this character is possibly part of an idol group, but his number one goal is to just be attractive.
I just want to be attractive.
He just wants to be pretty, even if he has to do sumo to do it.
Oh.
Then after that, we have Bondage-kun.
Sabrina's favorite.
Shut up. So this guy has a mawashi made out of chains for some reason.
Chain-kun.
I would think that would be very uncomfortable to try to fight in, but
I know, right?
who knows? Maybe some people are into that. For some reason, the translations also mentioned the term dowsing.
Like dowsing, like with the dowsing rod. You're
Is
trying to
that
look
what
for
it
water.
is?
Yeah, that's
Did
what
they
I
teach
thought.
that in Japanese high schools?
I'm wondering if maybe I'm just, either way too perverted or not perverted enough to understand what dowsing is.
Oh, you think it's like some sort of specific kink?
I think
or
it's,
something?
yeah. I mean, we're talking
I don't
about
know.
using rods to find water here.
Okay. I don't know how much I want to think about that. Maybe it means something else in Japanese. Who knows? But another thing that kept popping up in the translation for Chains-kun or Bondage-kun, whatever you want to call him, is the word stupid.
Is he a himbo?
I guess that's kind of his thing. He's sort of a himbo.
Baka.
Yeah. Then my favorite one, Takeout Box-kun.
It looks like it's kind of like origami-ish looking, like his
But
mawashi.
made out of takeout boxes.
Yeah, it's like if Optimus Prime were made out of takeout boxes, and then he transformed into a mawashi.
Yeah, you know, that makes sense. Like, have you seen that Optimus Prime, like, cosplay before?
Yeah.
And it's made out of cardboard boxes, kind of? Yeah, that makes sense. Not the weirdest thing about Takeout Box-kun, though. I gotta say, the translation for him described him as being puppy-like.
Bah.
Yeah, he's very much like a little puppy for some reason, and he also apparently gets bullied a lot and is always on the verge of crying.
Poor takeout box-kun.
Oh, poor Takeout Box-kun. The game is unfortunately only in Japanese, so if you don't speak Japanese, you might have a little bit of a hard time playing it.
Unless,
it
of
might
course,
still be worth it,
you
though.
use Google Translate like we did. Knows what kind of mistranslated adventures you'll get into with Takeout Box-kun or Chain-kun. But not Glasses-kun.
No, not Glasses-kun. Those weren't even all the characters. Those were just the ones that I could find information about online. I've seen more characters than that, but none with actual, like, profiles.
Yeah.
So, hey, there's an option for you. Or you can just find an actual sumo wrestler and
be like, hey,
go out
what are
on
you
a
into?
date with them. We can point you in the direction of some.
Yeah.
Lots of people get laid on Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I know I am. So we decided to go on the internet to see what people had to say about sumo and sex.
Yeah.
We found a Quora thread where someone asks, what is it like to have sex with a sumo wrestler? Here are some of the answers.
Okay, so what is it like to have sex with a sumo wrestler? Anonymous answers, like every other human has sex on this planet.
Duh.
Just because they have high amounts of muscle and body fat does not mean they struggle in performing sexual endeavors. Sumo wrestlers or rikishi have some of the most disciplined and toughest training in the professional sporting world. If they were not on their regular routine to gain body weight, they would be absolutely ripped.
But they're already absolutely ripped.
Yeah, I mean...
That doesn't make any sense. What? How do you get ripped and not gain body weight?
I'm just wondering if some of these people are, not
Do
that
they mean
familiar
gain
with
fat?
sex or not familiar with sumo, but
Or not that familiar with
the human physiology. All right, so this one, Maxo Flareheady answers.
Flaherty.
What is it like to have sex with a sumo wrestler? Well, I have never dreamt of having sex with a sumo wrestler, but I'll take your question seriously. Like most people, being severely hefty will not affect their ability to give or receive sex. It's not likely to be very comfortable for either person, but it will be like most sexual experiences. In fact, they have so little visceral
If sex
fat.
isn't comfortable,
Then
why
you're
are
doing
you
it wrong.
Doing it.
For real.
Stop doing it that way. What?
I like I said,
Why do they think it wouldn't be comfortable just because the person you're fucking is a sumo wrestler? I know why it is. It's because they think it's uncomfortable to fuck fat people.
Well, you know what? Fat people fuck.
Fat people fuck a lot, whether you like it or not. And they are good at it, and they like it.
Slapping.
And the people they
skins.
fuck like it. Moving along.
Anyway, so it said they have so little visceral fat they could probably go for hours without stopping, as they have such vast amounts of energy to burn, and every time they move their bodies, their muscles basically get a free workout.
Isn't that true with everybody?
I know, right? They are amongst the fittest people to ever walk the planet, and although I don't fancy myself as weak, I still wouldn't want to get into a fight with one. If you were to have sex and use the cowgirl position, it would likely be the most comfortable stance you could have.
Hold up. I got something to say about that. Have you ever tried to straddle a mountain?
Like a sky mountain? Like
Maybe
Aoyama?
Maybe it's just because I have bad knees. I mean, human beings have they come in so many different shapes and sizes. There are infinite ways to stick two or more human beings together. You know,
Like resins.
if it's uncomfortable one way, you just try another way.
True.
And what's comfortable for one person isn't necessarily always going to be comfortable for another person.
Yeah.
And that's true whether you're fucking a sumo wrestler or not.
Yeah.
Anywho, continue.
All right. Though if you were to have sex and use the cowgirl position, it would likely be the most comfortable stance you could have. Although it's unlikely you'd ever be allowed to fuck a younger one. They're kept under strict guidelines by their masters, and for most of their career, they live in stables where they consistently train. If you let a sumo wrestler lose all of their body weight, they would be literally the most muscular people. But that's why they have masters.
What?
So they also consume enough crap to keep that fat on them. I hope this helps.
What is this? How is losing body weight gonna make you more I don't understand these. Do these people know what they're...
No.
Obviously they don't know what they're
They
talking.
don't know, yeah.
But
they'll definitely tell you.
oh, jeez.
Okay.
You know, you have to prove... I think you should have to prove that you have at least some sort of college degree before you could answer questions on Quora. Maybe before we let you on the internet at all.
Well, then we wouldn't have answers like these from Ramesh Chancholi, where, we ask, what's it like to have a sumo wrestler? It's on a completely different level than normal guys, because your hole is going to get bigger than it has actually ever dreamt of. Lofty goals, guy. Lofty goals.
Listen, my hole has dreamt of getting pretty fucking large. Okay.
I go grocery shopping with her, I can attest.
Shut up. But when you started doing sumo, those dreams were exceeded. As well as its previous diameter.
Well, Ramesh Chancholi, you might have been onto something.
Fuck these people. No,
Okay.
wait, don't fuck these people.
Don't fuck
they
these
clearly don't know what they're doing.
All right, the last
To
one
continue.
is by Bill Williams. What's it like to have sex with a sumo wrestler? Very good question. First of all, you're not going to take missionary position with the sumo, are you?
I do it all the time. What?
The women have better endurance. It does not mean they would survive several minutes of strong piston movements under 300 pounds flesh. In fact, it is impossible to take the missionary when fucking a sumo.
Wait a minute. I regularly survive several minutes of strong piston movement under more than 300 pounds of flesh. Am I a superhero? Am I an X-Man?
You're an X-Man.
What the fuck? I feel so powerful now.
What was that? But as for other positions,
Also,
it should
what the
be
fuck
fun.
kind of name is Bill Williams?
You know who Bill Williams is.
Oh, God.
All right.
Continue.
But as for other positions, it should be fun. What do you say? Get fucked on a fleshy, soft, sweaty couch? That would be like riding a Bronco.
What the fuck?
I know, what the hell?
Wait a minute. Am I fucking a couch or a horse?
I
This guy needs to stop mixing his metaphors. I don't get this.
don't either. But people have some pretty,
Yeah, people's definitely got opinions about what it's like to...
I know absolutely nothing about the human anatomy or fat people and how they fuck, but I'm gonna tell you about it anyway.
I feel like I should make a Quora account now and be like, all right, guys, here's how it really is.
Oh, God, or we could just do some really bad trolling.
Okay, what else do we got?
All right, last one is from Reddit. So
no,
what's it
not
like? What's it like to have sex with a sumo wrestler? Lots of pushing, slapping, grabbing belts. Usually only lasts a few seconds, and someone ends up on the floor.
Oh my God. Mostly true. When it's really good and something real unexpected happens, sometimes you're tossing pillows around. You just get real excited. I don't know. It's okay. Except for the part where it only lasts a few seconds, I'd say that's a pretty apt description. And And with that, I think we're done with this question. Well, okay, no. One last thing. I kind of want to give my own answer to these fucking silly ass questions. I think the thing that is probably at the forefront of everyone's mind when they think of sumo and sex is that someone with a body type that you never really see in a sexy context in either Western media or Japanese media is the one that's actually doing the sex. We receive, and some of us even internalize, a barrage of messages from birth that not only do fat people not get laid, but if they do somehow, then it's automatically gross and even dangerous. Fat people especially are bombarded with societal messages that their bodies are inherently unlovable and unfuckable, and that the last thing they should be doing with them is generating any sort of pleasure. And yes, while not all sumo wrestlers are these huge hulking behemoths, a lot of them are. And they crush hella cooch. Or destroy hella dong, whichever they prefer. And we'll talk about queer rikishi in a later episode. Yeah. The point is, it doesn't matter what type of body you have. There will always be lots of people out there who want to get you in the bedroom. Or the back of a van. On the way to a Boy Harsher concert. And honestly, no guy I've ever been with has ever tried to get me off every single time we did it until that guy I shared the back of that van with, who is now the love of my life and a quite large and dedicated sumo wrestler. And if you can't imagine the logistics of a fat body bringing pleasure to or receiving pleasure from someone else who may or may not have a fat body themselves, then please, don't fuck anyone. Ever. Because you clearly lack the kind of intellect and creativity it takes to make sex interesting. All right, what else is on the vagenda? Next topic.
Do you know what time it is?
Like midnight 30? Why?
It's time for the winner of the first ever Sumo Punx Best Rikishi Ass Competition.
Best buns at the bar show.
We're going to see who's at the top of the bunzuke.
Yes, we went online and we asked tons of people, who do you think has the best buns in pro sumo or amateur sumo, but we mostly got pro sumo answers.
Mostly pro sumo.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly, the winner of the best ass.
Oh, you don't want to go
sumo.
from like third place and then second place and then...
We could do that, I guess.
Okay, yeah, build it up.
Okay,
Come on.
okay.
Here we go.
So in third place, we have Ichino-jo. Come on down. Ichino-jo got a large group of supporters just loving the shit out of those powerful buns. Mm-hmm. I mean, boy grew up horseback riding, on the Mongolian steppe. So, I mean, he's very powerful.
So that's how he developed that ass. I see.
In second place, we have... Takara Fuji. Takara Fuji does have some fucking sculpted ass fucking legs and buns that can like crush fucking coconuts and shit. I mean, just look at those legs. He just like lays in front of the fireplace, like cracking walnuts between his thighs or just fucking, just crushing watermelons. He's got a cut and muscular fucking kind of build. Ichino-jo's more of like a just straight up power, just power buns.
Ichino-jo's got the kind of butt that I would want to use as a pillow, I think.
He just fucking recreationally lifts VW Beetles with Terano Fuji with this fucking, crushing steel barrels like Coke cans between their butt cheeks. See, that's what I'm striving for, that kind of power, butt-crushing power.
Buns of steel.
That kind of highly developed, sculpted, powerful ass. Maybe not necessarily a good-looking ass, although that'd be nice, but I just want a powerful ass.
Yeah.
Okay, so the most powerful ass, the ass that had won the competition.
The number one ass.
Tochinoshin, overwhelmingly.
What?
I don't. Hey, that's what folks are into. So it's another power
It's
ass.
the Band-Aids, isn't it?
It's the Band-Aids. But people love Tochi's ass. They do. I got a whole lot of responses that were just like, no, there was just like no question. It's like, who has the best ass in sumo? Just one word. Tochinoshin.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Go Toch. Fuck. That was kind of unexpected, honestly. I did not expect Toch to get the best ass
Takara Fuji, I could see.
number one place.
So we did have some honorable mentions, and I did see, a whole bunch of Wakataka Kages, and I saw some for Kiribeyama.
Tobizaru.
Oh, Tobizaru as
Yeah.
well, and Hoshoryu. But I feel like Hoshoryu's ass looks more like my ass.
Really?
Yeah, we kind
So
of
got
some.
a fry bread.
He's got a fry bread booty. And of course, there were lots of loud voices about Indo, but he has an ass pillow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that he's disqualified from the best ass competition, but he's won something.
And honestly, for this competition, I personally spent a lot of time looking at a lot of Rikishi ass.
There was
And
a
I
lot of research when
Get it? I don't understand what it is about Indo's butt that makes people go totally fucking banarnar. To the point that they got to make a pillow out of it.
Seriously.
I mean, it's cute. I like the Indo butt pillow, but there are better butts, I think.
Well, the people have spoken, and that better butt belongs to Tochinoshin.
All right, reigning king of the buns, Tochinoshin. All right, well, do you know what time it is now?
What time it is?
It's time for you to tell us what you're listening to during sumo practice.
Oh, shit. I kind of went a little bit old school, and this is a record that came out, I think, in 1997 or 1998. I'm pretty sure it was 97. This Japanese band called GAUZE. But I've heard people say GAUZE, but I haven't actually heard them say the name of their own band. So it could be GAUZE, it could be GAUZE. Anyway, the record is from whenever I was a teenager. It was one of the first Japanese hardcore records that I ever heard, and it completely just blew my mind. I just haven't heard anything played that fast, that crushing, that just, it's not blistering in the way of power violence. It's just got so much fucking energy. You just fucking move. So the speeds at which this is played it's not like blast beats, but it's damn near, but it's just someone playing a fast punk beat. It's fucking great.
Yeah, the Japanese are incredible at hardcore.
I know,
music.
right? It's fucking amazing. This one is called Kao Arata Denaoshite Koi, and I'm probably butchering the hell out of that, but it means to wash your face and try again. And it's kind of I wouldn't say an insult. It's kind of like you're reading someone.
It's like an idiom in Japan, kind of.
But, if somebody, I don't know, I saw it used in Battle Royale. Remember that movie, Battle Royale? And this guy's just bothering this girl. She goes, well, why don't you just wash your face and try again? And so it's
a pretty commonly
Yeah.
used phrase.
I don't know. I think it's cool. And that's the title track of the song. It's track number 2. I fucking love that song. Ever since I was about 17 years old, it gives me a rush.
Speaks to your soul.
It does. It's good energy music. It's, if you want to do something intensive and physical, Japanese hardcore is the way to go, especially this fucking record.
It's kind of the theme.
Yeah.
Anywho, continue.
Anyway, this came out, back in the 90s, but I've rediscovered it. I actually tracked it down on Discogs and got it on red vinyl like a fucking nerd. But it is so fucking great. I listen to it, a couple of times a week, and especially if I'm going to be doing something physical, it's a good soundtrack. And the whole record itself is 16, 17 minutes long. But each song is just power fucking packed. It just snaps you back and forth each fucking track. So yeah, GAUZE. Kao Arata Denaoshite Koi. Great fucking album.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much all we have for this episode. Please come check us out on the social medias. We got the YouTubes and we got the
Instagrams, the Facebooks.
Oh, and the Twitter. Don't forget the Twitter that I fucked up.
At Punk Sumo on Twitter.
And then Sumo Punx on everything else.
Yeah. And then we also have a Discord server in the works as soon as we, finish scratching our heads trying to figure out how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, Discord server. So
Discord is a bit confusing. I haven't really used it a lot, but we'll get it up and running and then you guys can come hang out with us there.
yeah. And until next time, thanks again, and we'll see you later.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.